Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. If you want to introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Sure. I'm Steph Terrell. I'm a fitness coach and co-founder of our nonprofit that we recently started called Reps and Steps for a Cause.
I'm Monica Arriaga, like Steph said, co-founder of Reps and Steps for a Cause and also a fitness instructor.
Outstanding. So tell us about Reps and Steps.
So Reps and Steps for a Cause is a nonprofit movement that we just founded at the beginning of the year. And our mission is to bring fitness and community together through active lifestyle charity events where we aim to make an impact both locally and globally.
And how'd you two meet?
We met at Orange Theory about 6 years ago.
So what inspired you to start Reps and Steps for a Cause?
Fitness and community has been a huge passion of both of ours for many, many years. And 2022 brought a big opportunity for us to really channel more time and energy into being able to make an impact on a larger scale.
So how'd you come up with the idea for a nonprofit? Since you're into health and fitness and you want to help the community, how did you arrive at that as the way to solve that?
Well, we both have past experience with doing a lot of charity classes and drives to collect things to give back to our community. So we really wanted to hold on to that apart from creating a sort of fit fam community. So we were just looking for something where we could always have something to give back to our community.
And how do you choose who you're or which cause you're essentially working with or at the time? So.
A lot of times we go depending on months. Like in April, we did a Pride event. Was it
April was for Autism Awareness
Oh, right.
Month.
Okay. So, sorry. We did April Autism Awareness Month, and then June we did Pride. And for the holidays, we'll try to do some sort of toy drive to give back to the kids. And then sometimes it's just people asking us if we'd be interested in partnering with a specific charity or not.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's also a tough thing to be able to decide because there's so many things that we can do from a charity standpoint. And is there certain things that kind of guide you for choosing that, or things that maybe you feel special to your stories, or something that you feel like it resonates with you a little bit better?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, that's one of the challenging parts is who we're going to partner with, because we want to be able to help so many different people and walks of life. So that's actually why we chose to break it up into quarters and be able to focus in on a different charity every few months versus just having one cause that we're trying to support and raise awareness and funds for. But yeah, definitely things that hit home. Our next partnership is with Candlelighters Childhood Cancer Foundation. So we actually have a family friend who recently passed away from childhood cancer. So that's been a charity that has been a part of our lives for a few years. Like you said, charities like that hit home or have a special place in our heart.
For sure, yeah. Our last charity was with Discovery Children's Museum, and I was super excited about that because I remember going there all the time when I was younger, being a Vegas local. So it's also nice. A lot of times people don't know specific charities are nonprofits, so bringing awareness, letting people know that the Discovery Museum isn't just an attraction for people to come in and bring their kids. They do a lot of community work as well.
Oh, so what did you do for this last one at Discovery Museum? Tell us a little bit more about that.
So in the month leading up to it, we really focused our awareness on bringing awareness that Discovery Children's Museum is a nonprofit, and they also rely on a lot of outside support from the community, and focusing in on how they serve underserved families and Title I students. So our goal was to actually be able to provide admission tickets for underserved families, Title I students, and then also provide Discovery on Wheels programs for Title I schools. So we hosted boot camps at the park, and we always have like fun facts about the charity that we're giving back to that quarter, around at the different stations and through our social media and emails. And then we end the quarter with our big event, which is usually a 5K jog or run or a 1 mile walk. That we first lead with body weight reps of some sort. It was summer though, so.
Yes, the cool thing about this one was we were actually able to host it at the museum, as opposed to a park where we have had previous events. So it was nice to get everyone to go to the museum and see what it's about. A lot of people, it was their first time there, but because it was in the middle of the summer, we tweaked our reps and steps a little bit. More reps, only 1 mile as opposed to a 5K around the museum downtown area, and then back up for more reps. So,
and they got to do a lap inside the museum. So like Mon was saying, everybody got to actually experience what they have to offer.
mm-hmm.
And it was fun because all of our events are family friendly. So we always encourage everyone to bring their kids, bring their friends, and
Strollers.
Yes.
For
All
our
of the
park
above.
events, they bring their pets.
Yes.
It's always a lot of fun.
So do people reach out to you, or do you reach out to the charities? Like, how do you go about getting paired up?
It's both. So sometimes people will reach out to us to see if we can work with a specific charity, and sometimes we reach out to the charities to see if they want to partner up with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the concept of the whole thing, just because you're doing activity to raise this charity and awareness. So from your fitness backgrounds, how has that looked from your lifestyles that you have created, right? So I think from what I mean by this is you are having people be active, right, to do this event.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that important to both of you, kind of individually as your fitness and how you've raised your families? Because you both are awesome moms working kind of full time. So tell us about like how fitness has been in your life and how has that translated into what you're doing for your charity.
I definitely think that it's an outlet for you to feel better, for you to start your day and have a good day with maybe your little ones or whatever family you have. And I think it's also important that I set the example for my son that exercise isn't just for weight loss or for anything that way, but it could just be as part of a healthy lifestyle. So I really like things where I get to bring him with me, places that allow kids to come with you. You don't have to leave them at home. You don't have to have the mom guilt, right, of leaving them while you go have your hour to the gym or to your activity. So I think it's just a great way to lead by example and to show that fitness is a good thing, not necessarily something that you don't like doing or that you have to do to achieve certain things.
Yeah, for sure. To piggyback off of that, like fitness is so much more than just a physical aspect. It's mental, emotional, and just having that well-rounded, healthy lifestyle, an outlet, and something that you can do as a whole family. And kids learn from such a young age. It's cool. I have a 1.5 and 3.5 year old. And when we work out at home, they mimic us. Even our 1-year-old will do squats or pick up little dumbbells. So they're watching our every move. And always, when I'm coaching people, always want to have the effect that what they do in the gym can empower them as they go about their day. So if you can achieve this workout, what else can you achieve as you go to work or you're playing with your kids, and the longevity that it brings.
Right. It's like not limited to the 4 walls of your gym or your workout class or anything.
Yeah.
I think that's really smart, what you're saying about making the workout like the fun activity. When I was in undergrad, there's a professor there that had a kid, and he owned a gym. So he would tell his kid, like, all right, let's let's learn our homework so we can go play. And then the playing was the working out. So the kid's playing on a climbing
that's
rope
awesome.
and he's playing with kettlebells, but that was actually the reward. So instead of that being a punishment where it's like, okay, now we have to work out. It's like, are you ready to go play in the gym and have some fun? The kid's like, yeah. So then the kid's just going to grow up like that. Like that's going to be the fun reward.
Yeah.
No, speaking of your fitness background and how you both created this nonprofit, what has surprised you about something that you intended to do, like this, what you're trying to do, but what surprised you that, like, wow, this is something I didn't expect out of what we have done so far?
Let's see.
I mean, our mission is always to have, like, really make a big difference and an impact, but it's always very overwhelming to see how much support really does come together. Like, I would say we're still a tiny but mighty community and Reps and Steps fam, but really to really see like the imprint that we can make together, and those who want to be a part of something bigger than themselves is always very touching and rewarding.
Yes, we always get nervous that people or our Reps and Steps fam might think that we are bugging them too much because we do have things almost every single month. But actually seeing them say, no, we're so excited to be here, this is so much fun, or, we look forward to your emails, whatever it is, it sometimes is what we need to hear because we don't want to be bothersome. So I guess surprising that everyone has kind of welcomed us with open arms and has been so supportive. Our first event, we had way more people than we expected, so it was super nice to see that.
Each event is very telling of like, wow, we can really make this something big and create a legacy out of this, and something that we can hand down to our kids if they want to continue it, but have that imprint for years to come.
Through doing this, have you been able to like connect other individuals that normally wouldn't have met? Like maybe some of the people that come to your event could be like somehow have something to do with like the museum, and then maybe someone else has another business where they could say, hey, like why don't you host an event here, or why don't you reach out to this person? I would think that as you keep meeting more and more people, it would open up a lot more opportunities along the way.
Yes, definitely. Just from individuals who are participating in the events, getting to be able to connect with other like-minded individuals or other people who can help them in different avenues is huge. And then we always welcome vendors and other supporters like you guys to come. And so we hope that too, that you are able to connect with someone who may need you guys. And in turn, we hope that you guys benefit off of it as well.
Yeah, just building that community by networking and having more connections than if we weren't to have done a event at all.
Yeah.
So as far as like what do you see this becoming in, I don't know, 3 to 5 years? That's like a big question, but what do you guys see this moving into? Or
So part of our mission is making an impact locally and globally. So now that we're starting small, we're hoping that our local impact has a ripple effect, that someone who comes to our event then really liked how they felt giving back. So maybe they go home and they do something for someone else or for a charity, and it kind of ripples outside of our Vegas community. But as we grow bigger and bigger with more years and more experience, we're hoping to be able to branch out outside of Vegas and make that impact.
Yes. We are actually in the process of applying for our 501c3. So within the next few months, hopefully by the end of the year, we're well into that process. So becoming an official nonprofit organization. And I think our vision is to have our own office. And right now we are very grateful for the team that we do have that helps support us along the way. But yeah, we hope to
keep growing.
And make a bigger and bigger impact. Once we have our 501c3 too, we hope to be able to have a larger impact by being out into the community more. Right now, within our quarter, the first 2 months is hosting boot camps to help fund our bigger events. But once we have more funding, then we'll actually be able to go volunteer more. And
Right, as an official 501c3, then we could show that and maybe get more funding from companies that will then let us not have to do those boot camps every month. And instead of that, like Steph was saying, get a team together and go, into our community to hand out food or work. We've done Ronald McDonald's House before,
Yes,
making dinners for families that are staying there. So we'd like to eventually find our way back there.
yeah,
Putting more hours into the
Yeah.
community.
exactly, being more immersed in the communities and within the charities that we're focusing in on that quarter.
I love it. So it sounds like Reps and Steps keeps you busy, but as moms, tell us a little bit about what you both do for fun.
We like taking classes together.
Yeah.
I'm very much I need a team
Workout
mate.
buddy.
Yeah, a workout buddy to help keep me accountable. So we love taking classes together, exploring yummy food to eat.
Yeah.
We love
the
that.
balance. So
Yeah, keeping the balance.
Okay.
working out and being foodies. Yeah.
Yes, and then just trying to explore and have adventures with our families. Trying to really figure out and show that Vegas is turning into more of a family city, and it's not just Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yes.
You don't live in a hotel? No? You
Not
don't live on the
anymore.
strip? No. Okay. So favorite restaurants in Vegas?
Ooh,
Oh man, that's hard.
I know. We were gonna remember. We were like, if
supposed to make
they,
a list.
yeah, if they ask us what our favorite place to eat is, we're gonna be on the spot. And, eek. If it was up to my son, just anywhere that has miso soup and white rice.
Okay.
But all different kinds.
Yeah.
I mean,
My husband and I are trying to make it a point more of exploring different restaurants, because I think we have some of the best food in Las Vegas, but we just get stuck in going to the same places.
yeah, Steph and I, and then our other friend Dee, we usually have our girls' dinners at Firefly.
Firefly,
So
yes.
that's a yummy one that
Firefly,
we like.
Tapas
okay.
in
Yeah.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's definitely a lot of different options here too. Depending too on what kind of food that you want. I think that's one of the things that surprised me the most about when I first moved here was how many different options there were. And I thought assumed most of the good restaurants would be on the Strip, but then I learned later that actually a lot of chefs leave and start their own thing further away. And then you also have a lot of local mom and pop places that are amazing as well. So I think that you really can't go wrong with most mom and pop places in Vegas.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. A while back, I tried, I think it's Locale. That's on
Blue Diamond
Blue Diamond. Yes.
in Buffalo.
And that was,
Was it
Very good.
local?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Local, like
Yes.
LOCAL. LE.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Like Italian.
it was good. And there's one other one on Durango in Warm Springs that I can't remember the name of. Black Sheep, but
Oh,
maybe
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
That was a good one, too.
So when you're not spending time with your family or spending time working on your charity, what else do you do in Vegas for fun?
I mean, hiking is a big one that I feel like we don't do enough, but we always enjoy when we do and say we need to do more of. I think it's forgotten about that we have, Red Rock and Mount Charleston to get away from the summer heat. So hiking is a big one.
And before kind of everything was shut down, we participated in a lot of local races. So, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. I did my first half marathon here, the Rock and Roll.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We did our own during COVID.
oh
shutdown.
my gosh. I don't know why we thought that was going to be a good idea.
You did your own 5K?
No, our own half marathon.
Oh. So how did
Monica wanted to kill us.
I did. Well, I mean, it was my own fault. I hadn't really ran outside for a while, and Steph said, let's do a half marathon. And I said, sure.
We did it.
We did. We
Where,
did.
where was the route that you did?
In Mountain's Edge.
The Mountain's Edge.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mapped out like a
Yeah.
13.1.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as far as, since both of you had a different fitness journey, what's something that you've realized along the way that you feel other people should know? Like if you can inform them quicker along their fitness journey, what would you tell them?
I would say for sure slow and steady.
Yeah. I was just
Build
gonna say that.
healthy habits.
Pace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be in it for the longevity.
Exactly.
Listen to your body. Rather than, and even myself, I've learned from experience versus like pushing yourself through something because you don't want to stop, like listening to your body, give it the recovery that it needs so that you can keep going and reduce the risk of injury.
Right. Hitting your goals. Part of that is, like Steph was saying, listening to your body and making sure that you are taking your recovery days, you're staying injury free, so that exercise feels good. We want it to feel good. You don't want to be in pain, bad pain afterwards.
I think it's Jim Rohn who said, like, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And I think that is so that's so true. You know, you always have your body, but how you take care of it, age really can just be a number. And so translating that to others of, you know, it's inspiring when you see older people and sometimes they're the ones who are winning the races or lifting the heaviest or have the most flexibility. And so creating more of that movement and mobility and, again, longevity of living a healthy lifestyle.
Right. It's not all about like the high calorie burn, right? I come from a Pilates background, so really informing people that those gentler forms of exercise are just as beneficial.
From what I also hear is that you used to dance. Is
Yes.
that correct? Tell us a little bit more about your background there.
Well, born and raised here in Las Vegas. I grew up, my mom had me starting dance class when I think I was 4 years old, and I loved it. After school, it would, super fun. I could just go straight to dance class. And then I went to UNLV, and I kind of stopped for a little while. Once I graduated, I decided I wanted to go to New York. So I auditioned for the Alvin Ailey School, and I did 1 year of independent study there. And it was while I was out there that I got more introduced to Pilates. I realized there were a lot of things, movements I was doing that were Pilates moves that I didn't know they were. So I got my Pilates certification out there. And then when I moved back, I just kind of kept going, more certs and more. I just loved learning more about different types of fitness trainings and all of that good stuff.
And as far as that, how has that translated into what kind of coaching you do now, and like where can people like find you in terms of taking a class with you now?
Well, now I am at Lifetime Summerlin small group training. It's called GTX. So it's a combination of cardio on the treads and then strength training on the floor. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's I am more of a take a class and have workout buddies like we were saying before. So it's nice to go in. I love seeing the connections and friendships that are made from people coming in to try class, and then they become regulars, and then they're out having fun nights outside of the gym together.
And where are you currently working at, Steph?
I'm also at Lifetime Summerlin in small group training, also coaching GTX. And then I also coach a couple days a week at Mayweather Fitness and Boxing in Spring Valley.
What brought you to kind of your path of fitness, and how did that come about?
Yeah, I've always been into sports. I was a cross-country and track runner in high school, and then when I went to college in Santa Clara University, I decided I wasn't going to pursue sports, but then I missed it. That was always how I, connected with people and set goals for myself. So I walked on and was a collegiate rower for 3 years.
Huh.
And then when I graduated, I kind of fell out of routine and wasn't in the best physical or mental mindset. But once I started taking group fitness classes, I was really inspired by the other people who were taking classes with me and the fitness coach. And it made me want to have that impact on others. So that's how I got into the fitness industry. It kind of brought me back to life in a sense. And that's, I think, when I really realized that fitness is more than just a physical aspect, but again, that mental and emotional, and how it can have such a bigger impact than just how you feel inside the gym, but how it makes you feel as you go about your daily life. So again, that's the impact I like, and in being able to relate how the exercises that they're doing in class relate to their everyday activities.
So I didn't know you're a collegiate rower. So can you tell us more about that? Because there's lots of things that people don't understand about rowing. So I'm sure both of you have coached a lot of rowing, and coming from a collegiate rower. So let's talk about maybe common misconceptions about rowing, and then also maybe something that surprised you as a collegiate rower, because you probably didn't know anything about it prior.
Not at
So
all, yeah.
tell us about that.
Number one, efficiency is key. With efficiency comes power. So really connecting to the movement and the technique, and then adding the power on top of it, is you're going to get much more out of it, and you're going to prevent injuries. So rowing being a much more lower body focused exercise versus upper body is a huge misconception, where a lot of people think, okay, row, I'm going to pull with my back, but it's more pushing, driving through the legs. And technique, because one small move can really put you out, and I learned that the hard way. I have a bulging disc in my L5 from rowing with wrong technique in college. That caused a lot of sciatica for years. So again, and then I tried to row through it. So again, that learning curve of listen to your body, follow the technique, don't just try to power through. And it's a beautiful sport if you watch Olympic rowing and everybody's in sync and the boat just glides. But if you are trying to just be that pure power, your boat's going to tip.
So tell us about that too, because you have teammates as you're going through the that. So when you think about a machine, you're like, okay, I'm just like casually moving. So is there like a sweet spot of how fast you're going, or how much you're pulling, or what does that feel like when it's other people helping you in part of the boat? Because I really have only experienced rowing on a rowing machine. I haven't had anybody else help me.
Yeah. So tempo is a huge thing. Rule of thumb, 1 count back, 2 counts forward, power, patience, and that patience is so crucial. You're still gaining distance. If you think of it in a boat, that's where you are traveling with your oars out of the water, and then that big, powerful drive back is 1 unit. I mostly rowed in a boat of 4 and 8. So relating that to an erg or a rowing machine, you can do like synchronicity drills, team rows where everybody's on that same timing.
Does it feel a large difference between the machine and a row? Like how close is it to you than like your training?
It's different for sure, but I would say the water rower is the closest thing to it, because you actually get to feel the smoothness of the water versus like the ergs that are off of chain and air. They're a little rougher, but the water rower, it's so smooth.
So we have coming up for your charity this quarter and then during the fall?
So this quarter we're focusing in on our partnership is Candlelighters for Childhood Cancer Awareness. So we have our Superhero 5K coming up. We've partnered with Candlelighters in their Superhero 5K at Exploration Peak Park, creating our own team to help do a fundraiser and build a team for the race.
Yeah, so a little different than what we normally do. For our events, we usually have everyone come out, do our body weight reps, and then go into either a 5K or 1 mile walk. This time, we're going to be just creating a team to participate in the superhero 5K. But to stay true to our reps and steps, we'll have our team come together before. We'll rep it out, and then we'll go to the opening ceremonies and the 5K race.
Yeah.
And then how coming up for the end of the year?
For the end of the year, we are going to be hosting a toy drive. We want all the kids in our community to be able to experience the joy of the holidays. So we're really excited about that one.
Is it going to be people just bring toys to you at a set location?
Yes, we will have our big event with our reps, body weight circuit, and 5K jog or run and 1 mile walk. And so their registration donation will be a toy. And then leading up to the event, we'll have a couple other events too that will focus in on a toy drive and raising awareness for whichever charity those toys will be donated to.
Excellent. So this is for each of you individually. What is something that you're working on, whether it's professionally, mentally, physically, that you're excited about?
We talk about it a lot, work-life balance.
Yes.
So this year has really helped us with that. It's a challenging one. I know that we both like to give 150% to anything and everything that we're doing, but really being able to like hone down and focus in on not so many things, but having a larger impact on fewer things. And the most important of that being our families.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Because if you're trying to give 150% to everything at the same time, you're really not. So making sure that we are focusing in a little more on separating it and having a better balance. And when we're at work, we're giving everything that we can, our energy, to work. And when we're working on reps and steps, it's all about that. But then when we go home, it's being present with your families and not checking your emails or sending one last minute text, that quality time.
Yeah. A mentor recently brought this up to my husband and I, and we've been really trying to embrace it, but rather than living for vacation, living your life as a vacation, or versus living for the weekends, taking each day and really being present in that moment. And again, it is so challenging. There's so many outside factors, but trying to just always bring yourself back to.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I think schedules, right? We're both kind of working on schedules with our families. It was so hard to do the at-home online school. Everything kind of went crazy. So now really trying to have consistency with my little guy and saying, okay, when you come home, we've got this amount of time to sit down and do homework, and then we get fun time and dinner time, and just being more supportive that way and having those boundaries, because when you don't, then it's chaos. Yeah. Or for me, it was anyways.
I love it. Providing some structure too. I think we all need some structure. It's just varying degrees, and we just don't really have it as much when we're older, right? So we have to create it for ourselves.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And knowing that you have the support, either from your coworkers, your friends, your parents, whatever it is, the support
Bringing
that comes with it.
Back to balance, keeping each other accountable to it.
Definitely. And how can people find you?
Through our social media, Instagram and Facebook, we're at Reps and Steps LV, and you can always check there for our event updates, and then also our email. So if you're not so much on social media, you want to be on our event update list at repsandstepslv@gmail.com, and then of course at our events.
And we'll have all the links to the shows on our show notes.
I'd like to thank you for your time. Really appreciate everything that you two doing for the fitness community and for the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
We'd like to thank you for listening to La Vida Las Vegas podcast. We hope you enjoyed the time with our guests as much as we did. It would help us out so much if you could share, subscribe, or review our podcast, or any combination of the three. Thanks again, and remember to take care of yourself.